to the market. Thank you very much, Peter, for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Mediba.
Now, it's not very usual to have an interview and have your guest have a phone. But today we are going to discuss basically the innovation bit of it, how the technology firm Samsung has been able to evolve over time. Now, looking at a couple of years ago when the rival Apple globally was a major force to reckon with, and now Samsung giving it a run for their money. Tell us about what drives innovations at Samsung, even before we go to details of what we want to talk about today.
Thanks, Medibo. That's an interesting question because innovation is driven by consumer needs. Samsung is a good listener to what consumers need and what they would want their devices and technology to do for them. And with that in mind, that is what we've been able to keep on re-innovating new products in order to provide solutions for our consumers. Yeah.
Now, let's look at the Edge S7. What has been the new thing that has been introduced? I know it's been in the market for quite a number of weeks now. What new thing does it bring, and what are these specifics? You mentioned earlier in our conversation that it's basically that trendy phone that every young person wants to have.
Sure. This is the 7th generation of the S edition. Going back year after year, we've been releasing a new S series. Now this is the 7th generation. That before bringing it into the market, a lot of listening from consumers has been done. And what happened is we took into consideration what consumers really wanted. Looking at what we had on S6, we got some feedback from the same. And consumers wanted some features that we had omitted on the Galaxy S6 back. More specifically talking on that is that they wanted expandable storage, because today, looking at amount of media that we are able to store in our devices, storage is quite a big option that consumers would go for. So we are looking at a Galaxy S7 that allows you to expand up to 200 gigs and comes with a 32 GB internal storage. Then inside the box, we give you a USB adapter that will support USB storage on your devices. So you have unlimited storage to all your multimedia purposes.
Now, I want to ask you a question that I'm not sure you really want to respond to.
Yes.
There have been a lot of concerns, widespread, particularly when it comes to do with gadgets, given forth by Samsung. Issues about phones hanging. Traditional, someone will tell you, I personally have never owned a Samsung, so I wouldn't know. But from what I hear, after 3 months, 4 months, someone says my phone is hanging. And mostly these complaints come on the Samsung gadgets. Have you experienced this from your end, and what is your reaction?
I'll tend to disagree with that, because hanging in a phone is as a result of several aspects that you need to consider. One, what causes our devices to hang? It's RAM itself. RAM is the random access memory that allows you to temporarily store information for all these applications that you're running in your phone. And what consumers do is they will keep on opening applications, and unfortunately they don't close these applications, so they leave them running from behind the scenes, and these results in the fill up of the RAM, and the phone will automatically hang. It's just like your PC. So what we've devised in Samsung devices today is we have a smart manager tool that easily allows our consumers to be able to manage the RAM and other storage in your devices, in our devices. And that is unlike any competitor device. Yes.
Now, there was a discussion globally, and I think in the US, where there were issues to do with the security, the security of the customer.
Yes.
And we know institutions like government and other agencies that possibly would want to engage mobile companies, not really mobile companies, but manufacturers when they want to deal with issues with security. If I may just take you a little back on the issues of the bombing in France, where they were able to track this gentleman through the mobile phone they were using, and it turned out that they were actually able to locate him. And there's been a challenge when it comes to being able to trace people by giving certain information. There are rules or regulations within a nation that will compel a manufacturer to possibly give what you call secret data for the user to be able to carry out certain activities, if it's investigations and stuff like that. From your end as Samsung, have you had that experience at least locally, and do you anticipate this going forward?
Something that we've not talked about the Galaxy S7 and most of our Samsung premium devices is that they are data protected by a Samsung system known as NOx. NOx today is certified by 11 global companies with 11 big governments, like the US State Department. The US government has approved it, Canada, Finland, Britain. Okay, they're using Samsung devices. They've approved the Samsung NOx system for security. Okay, because what we are looking at on the Galaxy S7 is not just a device that will be able to give you just the normal routine functionalities of a phone. Okay, it's a device ready for business as well. We are looking at a NOx system that allows you to be able to protect your data from even hacking. Okay, and this being approved by the international governments, then this tells you that all factors have been factored in. By
now, let's talk about
devices.
this gadget you're holding. What is it? I'm sure possibly one or two people have watched and they're wondering if you have a weapon of mass destruction on you.
This is not a weapon of mass destruction. This is a very innovative device known as the Samsung Gear VR. In partnership with Oculus, we've managed to bring the next level of entertainment, how we will be entertained, how we'll be able to learn, how we'll be able to do business in a virtual reality world. Okay. What this simply means is by using the Galaxy S7, you dock it into this device. So what happens is you get access to your content in 360 degrees angles, meaning that you have an all-round view.
How do you power it?
It's just
can you just possibly you can just demonstrate?
Yes.
I saw there was already a handset there.
Yes,
so
there is a handset that is already demoed. So this is an S7 flat gold.
You can possibly you can just show to I think camera one.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
So these your device, and actually for pre-order customers, we gave this for free. This device will be available for 12,000 Kenyan shillings for retail. So dock that, and that's it. If it's a new device, you'll just need to do a few steps of setup, and then you'll have access to Samsung Gear VR store and Oculus store for you to get unlimited content.
Do you have to cover it?
You don't need to cover it. You can decide to use it that way, or just use a cover just on top of it. Okay.
So you mentioned there you're able to watch stuff video in 3D. I'm just wondering, does it have to be content that you already have on your memory card, for example, or within the
Yes, by using the Gear VR application that already is pre-installed in your phone, you have access to your videos, okay? But the one limitation that we currently have is that we have limitation to recording 360 degrees videos for our own contents. And what we are doing is in the next 1 or 2 months, we'll be unveiling a 360 degrees camera that will allow consumers to be able to create their own 360 degrees videos. Yeah, and that will now generate into more fun, and we'll be seeing more of, let me give you a quick example on what will happen. Think about these companies that deal with real estate. Yeah, by simply moving into their office, you will be able to just use a VR and take a tour of the property. Yeah, these are the future opportunities that we are looking at. Yeah, where they'll not need to drive into the property physically. Yeah.
So the virtual system only works with the Edge, the 7 Edge?
No. This device supports our premium devices from the Galaxy S6, the S6 Edge, the S6 Edge Plus, the Note 5, and now we have the S7 and the S7 Edge. So you have that wide variety of these devices, and more devices, I'm sure, will be supported.
Well, I'm almost convinced. Thank you very much for
Thank you very
spending
much.
time to talk to us about the innovation. And
Yes.
I think I'm more interested in the bit when you talk about being able to create a platform where Kenyan artisans or guys that deal in the film industry, they can come up with nice short movies, put on the Samsung Play Store so that people are able to watch. That is really important. Now, I was speaking to the training manager of Samsung, and this is Peter Gitonga, talking to us about some of the